people know when you're not living your authentic life. Success is not overnight. It's a journey.
It's my great honor to have you here, Yvette Gayle. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for making time. I mean, I feel overstimulated being in this environment, lots of conversations and people. How are you coping with the buzz, the energy, the conversations, the questions?
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I've been meeting so many wonderful people who have just been attacking me in the hallway.
Yeah.
But it's great. I love to meet people and talk about what I do and find out what they're doing and why they're here. And yeah, so Fame Week has been amazing so far.
Then let's dive into your brain. Our theme for this year is telling it bold, telling it African. How are you interpreting that?
So I think bold means working and living your authentic life, right? Not shrinking yourself to or conforming to anyone's standards. Bold in African, I related to telling African stories, knowing that the African stories can compete globally, right? They translate. And in telling these stories, doing it from your own personal African lens and not changing the narrative or the story to fit anybody else's expectations around the world. I think that's really important.
You have a huge responsibility in this, in the sense that it must be, I suppose, a heavy crown to wear in some way, supporting the industry in the background to try and create this cultivated image of what African creativity can mean and do. And obviously, you've built amazing names. You've launched most incredible careers over decades of experience. What really, in your opinion, is the legacy of the work that you do in the background at the African Creative Agency to create the names, to move narratives forward that you just described now?
Before I got into management, which I do now with Africa Creative Agency, I was a publicist for over 25 years in the States. So everything I did was in the background. And it wasn't like today where publicists and everyone are the icons and there's selfies, and it's like I've worked with a gazillion artists that I don't even have a photo to post on social media or to prove it, but that wasn't our intent. Our intent was to get the artists out there, to get their story out there, to build their narrative, and to connect their narrative to humanity. It's not only the sound and the music that they put forward, but it's about the person and their lives. So we really work with talent to figure out what is their main job. If it's music, what's the next main job? What are they interested in? Fashion, beauty. We try to look forward 5 years and say, where do you want to be in 5 years? And we build out these layers. We like to say that we concentrate on human brands, and the human brand is layered.
If I look around at the roster of artists that you've had the incredible privilege and success with, names like 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, Nas, we've obviously got Nasty C in there as well too. They all have a story. They know who they are. And what I find most interesting in the music industry at the moment is a lot of artists are asking, what do people want of me? Let me make what I think people want, or let me be where I think people want me to be. And really, your job is to help them say, stop asking what you think people want. Who are you? That authenticity, knowing yourself, is actually one of the hardest skills to gain. It's what differentiates the artists that you've worked with and artists who haven't quite made it yet.
100%. Because people know when you're not living your authentic life. They know when you're trying to make music to create a hit, as opposed to just making music and making great music that's gonna be a hit, right? They can feel...
Following trends and creating trends.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it feels like to the consumer that it happened overnight when it really had been 3 or 4 years that this person has been trying to break into the industry or more. Sometimes it takes a lot longer. Sometimes it takes a lot longer in film and television. Like when you're trying to produce a television show, or a film, it takes a really long time to shoot it, film it, raise the money, and then find distribution. We've been working on our film Fight Like a Girl that we shot in Congo and Rwanda for a year and a half, and we just got distribution. So sometimes you have to be patient and you have to play the game and know that success is not overnight. it's a journey.
Let's talk about the global industry. I've heard this narrative about international gatekeepers and what's preventing African artists from making their way into the sort of global stage. What do you guys do? What is your view on the international gatekeepers, and what bold moves are you making to try and break down those barriers for African artists in the global scene?
I think the way that we look at it is, and how we've tried to attack gatekeeping is to build our own platforms and pipelines to the other communities. And fortunately enough, it's moving from America and having been in the business for so long. We have a ton of relationships that we can call on, and people kind of understand and know and respect what we've done in our respective fields, my partners and I, before we even launched this business. So we're already coming in with an edge, right? Hasn't been easy. My husband had been working for over 20 years on the continent before we even decided to move here. So it's not like we just popped up yesterday and started.
Let's help you. No.
My husband came in 98 and produced Mandela's birthday concert, brought Stevie Wonder and Kenny Lattimore and a ton of other artists.
I'm sure Michael Jackson was there as well.
I'm not sure.
Or previous year, because I was a candle bearer
Okay.
at one of his birthday parties with these big international stars, and I walked down the aisle with a candle to show Nelson who he was.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Well, you were there, and I was stuck in New York holding down the office, and my boss came at the time. And now we've been here 8 years and we're loving it. The talent is unmatchable and can 100% compete globally. And that's kind of what we set out to do and prove.
You're describing a mindset that I wish more young people sort of had. And let's dive straight into it then. If there are young women who are watching or listening and are inspired, maybe even intimidated by the journey so far, you've had to balance everything from family life to business to careers to success to failure. How do you find a way to balance those things and still, I suppose, be the person that you are today?
I think I have to hone in on my power. I talk about women being powerful so much. What other entity can flow fluidly through wife, mother, businesswoman, entrepreneur? No one. Like, we have it all inside us. We can do many, many things. Our identities are not tied to one thing. And I think that is what makes us powerful.
What are the mindsets that you believe you have that have set you on the right path?
You have to embrace failure, right? You only can appreciate true success when you've actually failed so many times along the way. How are you going to appreciate success if you've never had failure? So it's okay to have doors slammed in your face. There's another door that's going to open. And it may not open right away in your time, but I believe it happens in God's time. There's so many moments along my life that I could say I could have let that derail me and given up or not moved forward. But you just keep moving and you keep pivoting, and you never know when to pivot, but eventually you'll figure it out.
Yeah, and I think everyone's afraid of failure or doesn't want it must be perfect or right before I begin. And I think practice failing lots and early. We'll wrap with the future. And we'll bring it back to the music industry, which we're so incredibly proud of. And we're so grateful that finally the time is now for our African artists on this global stage. So if you were to take a stab at it and put your money where your mouth is, and looking towards the future, what are some of the creatives or musos that are standing on business that we should keep our eye on?
Well, I guess I'll have to talk about my own. I have a new actor. His name is Tandoetu Zandi. He's currently on Netflix, the star of their series Go. He's also in Shakalimbe and Outlaws. And he is just an amazing talent. He's going to go far. Humble, an incredibly great guy to work with, really takes his acting seriously and wasn't groomed to be an actor. He was an athlete. And what I love about also working with new talent is just imparting all the knowledge that I have on them. And I love when they're open, when they're humble and they're at the beginning. I'm super, super excited about where he's going to go.
Thank you so much for your wisdom and your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching and listening. And if you'd like to offer any of your thoughts on the conversation we just had, pop it down in the comments below and follow our social platforms for more of these and more conversations from Fame Week.